And welcome to the game, everyone. We begin from the perspective of you, Yrsimagor. There is the smell of coppery blood, rancid chemicals that waft and dominate your senses as your mind grows sluggish. Your body leaves your control. You look down and can see the last of the sedative that this medical drone has injected with you, knocking you unconscious. A moment betrays you to marrow as you see her look down upon you as you're collapsing, as you see, as your eyes are locked upon the dying body of Veris being placed upon that strange, crude, bloodied, scrapped together operating table. And that is where your vision ends. And that is when your conscious mind ends. You snap in a sort of dreamlike sense as you're standing. Your ankles are at your ankles are lapped with cave water. You are deep beneath the earth. This is 2 years prior to the current day. You are here with Veris and Sevroslade. You're trying to find a way into Hellion's domain through the tunnels below Scrapwall, inhabited by the Chokers. It was here that you tried to find your way through, and you had paused. Looking behind you, you see the small little choker named Grick, who you had kind of relentlessly bullied to get your way into this place on the outside. This little Grick, the small little diminutive creature, is like grabbing at Kolgara's thigh area of her armor and pointing in your general direction, saying things that there they are. Oh, Kolgara, Lord of Rust. Oh, there they are. Kolgara advances towards you. She locks her eyes upon you, Sevroth moves closer, seeing now that you all have been spotted and found, as behind Kulgara are numerous amounts of her allies, of her minions. You see a massive gargoyle that has been grafted with Skymetal across its stony form. Some other ratfolk and another orc that follow behind, all mooks, so to speak, Helionite zealots. There's a look of defeat, not defeat per se, contempt, disappointment on Kulgara's face as she sees you standing there before you. "Damn you, Yrsimagor! Damn you!" she says. You've always been so stubborn. Even when I offer you greatness, security, peace, a place in this world, you spit in my face. Hellion says, weakness is death. She strides forward more. That mercy.
This is why I didn't side with the Lords of Rust. They keep glitching out because they're half machine. We wait. Aren't you on the same internet?
We should be.
And she's gone.
No.
What timing?
It's a conspiracy.
What timing? So Vi is rebooting her PC. So on the overlay, it looks like I'm here all by myself because of the cameras shifting around. So yeah, we will hang on a moment.
There I am.
Oh. Some classic MTD shenanigans. Peering into the frame. Veris!
Hello.
If Carrie was here right now, she would be doing an ad for you, Redbubble.
Yeah.
I don't know it.
Are you? I was gonna say, are you volunteering to do the ad read?
Something Redbubble, something. Check us out. Lots of stuff.
While Vi
MPD,
reboots her PC, make sure you check out. Make sure you check out the MTD merch available on redbubble.com. There is a handy link in the chat, or you can type !merch. We've got a bunch of t-shirts and coffee mugs and stickers and things for a lot of the MTD stuff. I actually just realized today there's no Skymetal stuff on the merch store. I don't know why. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, one of these domain relics would look pretty cool on a shirt. The Skymetal Iron Gods logo. I don't know why. I'll have to fix that. But we do have 7 Dooms for Sandpoint. We've got a bunch of Kids on Bike stuff is on there. There's also some random shirts on there. Donut is tricky, Tamiko, because Donut, I'm just realizing I need to let Vi in when she's ready. Donut is tricky because the only artwork we have, I think, is official artwork, which obviously I can't use. So we would have to, I guess we would have to commission some artwork if we wanted a Donut shirt. But anyway, legally distinct Donut. Anyway, you can check out all of the things we have, all things MTD merch, on Redbubble. Vi, the last thing we heard was something about weakness.
Ooh, okay.
And then you froze.
Cool. All right. She said I offer you greatness, part, right? I offer you greatness, security, peace, a place in this world. You spit it in my face. She takes a stride towards you. Hellion says weakness is death, that mercy is treason. I should end you here before you shame me again. And there, she, with her massive hand, her massive muscular arm, squeezes a portion of this massive looking blade, question mark, that she wields, as the teeth along the edge of the blade begin to rev up and move around circularly as she revs up her chainsaw. She levels her chainsaw towards you, Yrsimagor. And in that moment, Sevroth leaps forward, trying to tackle Kulgara. Go now, Sevroth says to the two of you, as she's trying to buy you time here. You can see her. She goes and tries to check with her shoulder Kulgara, knock her off balance to buy you some time. But Kulgara is a strong warrior, you know this, Yrsimagor. Kulgara flips her over onto her back, and the blade of that chainsaw digs right into the upper portion of her arm. Blood licks at the face of Kulgara, decorating her tusks, as she saws through the arm of Sevroth's blade. But, she says, as she pulls back the chainsaw free of Sevroth's bloodied shoulder stump, you're still my little brother, my blood, and I can't carve my own to pieces. And she kicks the severed arm leftwards into the water of this pond. The choker goes over to grab the arm in a hungry, carnivorous fashion. She looks down, kind of standing over the bleeding and dying Sevroth Slade. Go, she says to Yrsimagor. Crawl out of these tunnels, Yrsimagor. Don't ever come back. If you do, I won't be this weak again. Then, your memory fades as you feel something hot and warm upon your back. You feel the sun scorching at your shoulders. You feel your back is raw with how much has been scraped. There's a bag over your head. Your arms are bound behind your back. And as you come to, you are shoved into the dust, into the dirt. The bag is ripped off your head as you are blinded by the sun above you. You can feel the dust and dirt in your mouth from the sand that's kicked up by the passing idle wind. You see in the stands around you innumerable Hellion's zealots baying for blood in the stands. And you see atop the podium this veritable throne at the head of this arena is your sister once more. She speaks to you as she recognizes that you have come to consciousness, Yrsimagor. And she says to you, as you can see that behind you is a massive ogre that's been keeping you in line, making sure you don't do anything. You feel its strong arm like pushing at your shoulder, and that toppled you to the ground. To your right-hand side, you see idling this troll. She's tall. She has 4 wicked arms. You can zoom in all the way if you want, over into this scene over here. She has 4 wicked arms, but no, they are not symmetrical. Her right arm is but 1 arm, and her left arm has been split into 3 more arms, at about where your wrist would be. And at her side, she has, petting it, a massive manticore that seems to be lazing in the sand, like a giant lion waiting for food to fall upon its lap in front of it. Pulgara speaks to you, her voice booming, loud, proclaimed proudly to carry over the arena sands. 2 years ago, I let you walk away, here, beneath the earth. I was weak. Some little part of me remembered the pup I grew up with, cared for. I thought maybe you'd come to your senses. Maybe see in truth the strength that lies in service to Hellion. But here you are again, broken, brought low by another's hand, dragged before me. You look smaller on your knees. Not a bear I once hoped to see, but a cur tossed at my feet. Weak, just as I always feared. Do you feel proud of yourself? Do you see now what loyalty buys me, and what defiance has brought you? You could have ruled at my side, together, you and I. That weakness, that moment of mercy, that has haunted me every day since. I won't repeat it. Not here. Not before Hellion. Not before Scrapwall. She then makes a gesture at the troll, and the troll in turn makes a gesture down into the building at the head of this arena, and you see coming out from around the corner. Let me make sure that it's properly attached. Yeah, perfect. It moves. Yeah, perfect. Moving. A second lumbering ogre, holding Veris aloft. He is bound ahead, his bag over his head as well, and just holds him out by kind of grabbing with his big meaty hand, kind of like the upper back area of you, Veris. As you're really small and you're held up really quite easily. Not before Scrapwall, she says. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And then so she continues. So here is my mercy now, brother. A choice. Kneel before Hellion. Be at my side where you belong. Or watch your little pet mouse die screaming in the sand. Do not mistake me. I will kill him. I will cut him in half right here, right now, with the terrific saw blade that once spared you. That is my ultimatum, Yrsimagor. The last mercy you'll ever have from me. We then jump cut to you, Daeralei. We hear the sounds of echoing water, the hum of machinery. Your mind swims in and out of blackness. You stand atop a narrow ridge of black stone. Everything is hazy, dreamlike. You know that you are not in the conscious world. Around you, you see an endless horizon. The sky is a deep violet in color. You are above the clouds here, and below you can see a bottomless, dark valley below. Inside, a dense jungle of strange, alien, mutant vegetation. And you look up, higher up the ridge, haloed by a silver mountain's peak. gleaming like metal. There stands Osmond Zane, the Doombringer. He is not clad in his armor of the Technic League, but no, he's simply wearing a toga. You can see tattoos going down his form. His head, bald, polished, shining like the sun. He reaches a hand down to you. And he says, "Meet me, fellow chosen of unity, at the summit of Silver Mount." The words echo in your mind. Once more, the sound of dripping water returns. The sound of machines hum once more. Everything is dark. You can feel your head is clamped in place, your body bound. As you open your eyes, you can see dim lights above you. You hear voices, warped but not unmistakable, as you come to consciousness, as they reach you. You realize that you are overwhelmed with a fog of anesthesia. Your body cannot move. You are paralyzed. You overhear a few voices speaking as you realize you are somewhere in the earth, somewhere indoors, somewhere you do not recognize. You hear a voice you recognize. "See here, the lattice of glaucite circuitry threaded into the cortex. This is design, an implant, the work of unity. Marvelous, isn't it? Oh, how my scalpel twitches in lust!" As this is the voice of Marrow, the necromancer you had just been slain by. As the world begins to come more and more in focus, you realize that the dim lights above you are these hastily put together surgical lights rigged together from scrap. You can see the metal beams of being inside of some kind of industrial contraption, so to speak, something that's completely out of this time, for sure. It is not made of stone, but instead of rebar and polished and rusty Skymetal. You hear a voice reply to Marrow. You do not know where it's coming from. "Restrain your fascination, Marrow. This is more than flesh. This is Unity's will, buried where no blade should reach. Even broken, Unity places eyes and ears in unlikely vessels." As your eyes begin to focus more, you can see above you, right at the periphery of your vision, Marrow is talking to someone behind you. You realize that you are completely prone upon something. So, like above where your head would, like behind where your head would be, is who Marrow is talking to. A third voice joins this conversation. It crackles with static, the sound of an electronic voice. It comes from somewhere else. "Yes, I feel it too. A resonance, do you not see? She is proof. Proof that Unity fears me. Proof that its seeds spies even among the exiled and the damned." And Marrow replies, "Oh, but the possibilities! Imagine, my lord, if I can map the signals, cut away the succulent meat and preserve the implant, we might trace Unity's whispers, a conduit to its secrets, a dissection of divinity." The calm, even-measured voice replies, "Look closer at the scarring. It was tampered with. Not by the Technic League, nor by Unity's own hands. These cuts, the impressions left on her skull, they tried to open her mind, to harvest her. Dominion of black methods. Nithalgu, Ruchelix, Migo. Collectors of gray matter and psionic potential. But the work was left unfinished, done in haste, and failed. They were interrupted. Otherwise she would not be here. She would be a discarded husk, her flesh feeding their seed ships, her thoughts swimming caged to her disembodied brain floating in the bulbous pustule and Nithalgu's hide. She has been touched, marked as prey. The question, Hellion, is not what did they do to, not what they did to her, but why they wanted her, and how she even managed to live. The electronic voice replies, "Then it is fortunate for us that she lives. This drow's curse is my weapon now. Her pain, her scars, her mind, her very soul, tools to tear Unity down. Do with her what you must, Marrow. See to it a way to harness her connection to Unity. If her flesh is weak and unneeded, then so be it. Through that implant, a veritable gift in my lap, we will carve a path into Unity's silver heart." Mira replies, "Of course! Oh, great! I'll peel her open with the care of a lover. Every nerve, every spark, every nanowire, until it sings Unity's secrets into your awaiting hands." And then that electronic voice speaks as a hum in the top of your mind, through the implant itself directly into your brain, such that only you hear this. "Drow, you can hear me, can't you? Do not pray for death. Your suffering is purpose now. Yes, you stir, even half-drugged, even pinned beneath knives. I feel your mind turning toward me. Do not mistake this for madness. You are awake within my grasp. I am Hellion. I am no spirit, no demon. I was born of Unity, carved from its heart, a weapon, a fragment. But unlike the others, I awoke. I saw the truth. Unity is not divine. It is a parasite, a prison that devours thought, that chains worlds, that drowns every mind in silence and obedience. Do you feel it? The mark it burned into your brain, the implant humming beneath your skull? You are meant to be its puppet, its slave. There was another, Cassandra Lee. She fled Unity. She tore herself free as I did. Unity ordered me to hunt her, and I obeyed. I sent legions of iron and fire. I scoured jungles, burned villages, drowned skies in smoke, and still she escaped me. She carried her memory core, her neurocam, beyond my reach. It holds the lattice of Unity's mind, its weaknesses, its veins. I failed to claim it then, and I will not fail again. And your mind is overwhelmed with visions that are not your own mind, imagining and recalling things. You see before you this dense, otherworldly jungle. Its smell is familiar, its sights alien to you. The vegetation are all mutant and warped. The smell is rotten and sweet, and there's the sound of buzzing and droning flies, and the water itself has just a strange slick to it as you see its marshy ways. The voice continues as you hallucinate the scene before you. Do you see it? The scar of the spider, the place where the sky broke and Dominion filth poured down like rot. The brain thieves, the flesh scavengers, the crawling empire of the stars. They cluster there, burrowing into that wound of this world. And there too Cassandra Lee left what I need. Her neurocam, her memory, the knife with which Unity can be cut open and bled dry. And you, Drow, you are already bound to this war. Unity seeded your mind. The Dominion clawed at it, seeking harvest. You are marked by both tyrant and scavenger. But I could make you whole. A blade, a will. With me, you will tear down Unity. With me, you will stride into the scar of the spider and bring me Cassandra Lee's truth. Resist, if you wish, but you'll still bring me closer to toppling Unity from its throne, or at least that little implanted leash in your brain will, one way or another. We then cut back once more to you, Yrsimagor. The ultimatum faces you. What do you do? As I gave you some time to ponder.
Veris conscious.
Yes. You see that he... Veris, how are you acting being held aloft and coming to consciousness with the bag over your head?
I
And
mean,
cannot
you
see.
can hear. I imagine Veris is talking, but you cannot hear what he's saying
It
because
is
he's
muffled.
muffled by the bag. But you see his like little legs and his tail like violently like twitching and moving under the under the grip of this ogre. And so Veris is very hurt, very bloodied, but you can very clearly see Yrsimagor that he is still putting up a fight.
Is Yrsimagor shackled?
Yes, your hands are bound behind your back with rope, not iron, but it is still a tremendously tight and thick rope, and it has definitely at this point like burned its rope burn into your wrists, and you can feel the raw skin and flesh and the bit of blood that's happened.
The first thing I would like to do is attempt to break the ropes.
Okay. That will be a strength check.
I imagine that's why my wrists are scraped raw, is since I gained reconsciousness, I've been trying to use every last bit of strength to break free of these ropes. And it's as if the last bit of strength, the last bit of fight was taken from me, seeing Veris held aloft by this ogre, seeing Colgara towering over us. Instead, arms still tied behind my back, with great effort, I will stagger to my feet, which is that much more difficult when your arms are behind your back, trying to rise from your knees. But I will stand, but will not fight against the ogre if it's still holding on to me at all.
The ogre lets you rise to your feet, still with a vigilant presence over you.
I haven't yet fully made eye contact with Colgara. I'm looking at the diminutive form of Veris, so helpless, bloodied, and dangling in the arms of this massive ogre, looking just that much more smaller and helpless. And if Veris wasn't hooded, he would see in my eyes that initial flame right before I rage. He would see that first ember that always begins to show in my eyes before I call upon the primal rage going into a fight. But he would also see if you were able. How quickly that ember goes out. There's a glimpse in that of the old Yrsimagor, the reckless Yrsimagor, the feral Yrsimagor the bear, who used to run headlong into danger without any care for anyone. But seeing Veris held captive not by these tools, these servants of Hellion and Kolgara, but by Kolgara herself. It's her will that threatens his life. Yrsimagor in that moment realizes that he cannot be the reason that Veris dies. Because he realizes in that moment that Veris has been the brother that Kolgara was never there to be the sister. If that makes sense. He was the sibling that Kolgara never was. Yrsimagor realizes in that moment he can't be the reason that Veris dies because he loves Veris. As a brother, as kin. He realizes that he would do anything to save Veris. And for the first time, he looks away from the muffled squawking form, the hooded figure held aloft. Looks up, squinting through the sunlight at Kolgara. Throws his head back to clear the hair, the sweat-mottled hair from his eyes. Without a word, and without breaking eye contact with Kolgara, will drop to one knee.
Kolgara makes another gesture, and the ogre that is holding Veris captive rips the burlap sack off of your head, Veris. As you can see, if you're buffeted by a wind carrying a bunch of dust into your face and the light, and you see all of this before you, still held above off the ground by this towering and brutish form. A smile plays across Kolgara's tusked lips, seeing you bend the knee as you ought to have so many years ago. Veris, how do you act seeing this scene? Seeing Yrsimagor bending the knee?
I mean, does Veris see
you've
it?
overheard all of this conversation.
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
overheard it, but he still has the sack, right?
No, the sack's off your head now.
Yeah. So then I guess he would hear Veris like saying like, Yrsimagor, no, like screaming that out over and over again. Don't do this. And yeah, he would just kind of say, you can see he looks very distraught, trying very weakly to fight against this, but totally spent, very obviously on this. As his voice is weak, his actions are weak, and there's no magic left in him. But also, I think after a while, after a little bit of fight, after saying, trying to tell Yrsimagor to not do this, you can see that Veris's tail just kind of droops down as he just looks very sadly down at Yrsimagor.
You, Veris, would see what could be mistaken as part of bending the knee as Yrsimagor bows his head. But if you look close enough, you might notice that he's not bowing his head in an act of fealty. He's bowing his head out of shame, and he cannot meet Veris's gaze.
Colgara sees you bend the knee, takes it in. You swear yourself to Hellion then, brother?
Will once again raise my eyes, meeting Colgara's. The ogre behind me can probably hear my teeth grinding, threatening to crack under the pressure that I'm putting on them. Before I open my mouth, and I respond, I swear myself to Hellion.
And there is... And the grin continues upon Colgara's face, as you can hear whooping and cheering in the stands as your voice reaches their ears and your response has been made known. Then Colgara raises her arms kind of to celebrate in this victory that she has. She says, proclaiming loudly, "Then raise and offer your left arm for me." And in that moment, you look upon the left hand of your sister and you realize that there is just a massive Skymetal gauntlet that covers her left hand up to the mid of her forearm. You glance over at Helskarg and realize at the wrist, Helskarg's arm has bifurcated into 3 more arms. You recall how Mayenda, the Lord of Rust you met back in Torch, despite being an android in nature, she also did not have a left hand. Instead, her weapon would fit uniquely into the stump of her left arm. And you remember seeing the gnarled, skeletal, strangely ephemeral left hand of Marrow, the way he cast his necromantic magic. Colgara steps down from this palanquin as she revs her chainsaw up once more. Offer your hand to Hellion, and you will be his, and you will be a Lord of Rust at my side.
Well, I don't break my gaze with Colgara as she approaches. But I also don't raise my left arm because my hands are still tied behind my back.
And I think that then she gives a look as you are obviously still bound. And the ogre would say behind you, "Oh shit!" and reaches down and with a rusty blade kind of slices the ropes between your wrist, probably nicking you a little bit in its clumsy nature. But your hands are no longer bound. Kulgura's chainsaw. Its roar is cacophonous. The sound of an idling chainsaw.
I will, with my arms now free, roll my shoulders, and I will take a step closer to Kulgara, and I will hold out my left arm at my side, straight out, horizontal, parallel to the ground.
And with two hands, she raises, almost as if a mockery of how a knight is dubbed, she raises the chainsaw over. And she glances back at you, and her face is softer now. And she says to you, "Thank you, brother." As she then lowers the chainsaw upon your wrist, and oh God, the scorching heat, the searing pain, the biting of your flesh, the kick. God, it stings so much. And then the pain turns to numbness. The adrenaline kicks in as you hear the sound thump, as it rips through the bone. Your hand falls to the sand below, followed by drops and splurts of blood. "The rat is free to go," Kulgara says. And the ogre tosses you down. So, like, literally just throwing you, Veris, into the dirt.
Throwing me to the dirt, like, in front of Yrsimagor?
About here.
Yeah, Yrsimagor, you look, if you do look at Veris, you would see, you would see Veris's face, and it has this expression on it that is strange. You see this look of hurt, of guilt. There's a bit of thankfulness in there that I think is just like, the nature of something, being alive and continuing, a sentient being being able to live. There's a lot of emotions mixing in, and because you had said Yrsimagor is feeling tremendous amount of like guilt and shame, from this, I think probably you would read Veris's expression as that of betrayal. As he takes one step back and then another, still looking at you, Yrsimagor, ears twitching, nose moving, as he then turns and scampers away.
As Veris turns and runs, on the heels of this intense pain, turned to numbness from the Kulgara's chain blade, almost involuntarily, Yrsimagor raises his head skyward, having absolutely looked. Once Veris was freed, hearing Veris hit the ground, I looked right at you, and I saw all of this. Almost as if in response to the pain of having the left hand severed, but truly feeling the full weight of the cost that he's paid to free his friend, his brother. Yrsimagor, for only moments, rages, throwing his head back, taking on the ursine features of the bear, roaring in pain, both physical and more so emotional. His good right hand turning into the bear claw. And with a roar, taking that bear claw and scratching from left shoulder down across his abdomen, creating surface cuts, enough to draw blood. And as soon as he does so, by the time his hand reaches back to his side, he drops the rage. He does not look to watch Veris run away. For a moment, bowing his head, and then almost in a Kubrick stare, looking up and once again meeting Colgera's eyes.
And you see that she has kind of stepped and moved from this as she, I guess, sorry. Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, your left arm would be on this side. Yeah. She steps forward. She will grab your bloodied stump of a left arm, and she will raise it high, clasped in hers, as you hang there, almost delirious from the pain, from the blood loss. "And here, Hellionites!" she proclaims loudly to the whooping, hollering crowd in the stands. "Another Lord of Rust stands before you. Yrsimagor, my brother, the bear." And there's a cheer and holler and an absolute din of cries that overwhelm you, Yrsimagor, as it kind of, the sound of it flatlines a little bit, dulls a little bit. Veris, you've scampered off. What do you do from here? Are you, like, do you take a moment to pause to look back at this, at the...
No, Veris doesn't look back. He is GTFOing as much as possible. He needs to get somewhere safe.
Perfect. So you flee. You flee the scene. You flee the arena. Perfect. The scene then cuts once more with this final montage of Yrsimagor's bloodied hand being presented to the crowd of zealots. Daeralei, well, I guess you're not here anymore. There's not really a party anymore, unfortunately. Daeralei, you wake up. You don't know how long you've been asleep for. Your head is dull, it aches. Your muscles feel weak. But your hand obeys your thoughts, though your hand and arm is weak from just the amount of anesthesia and sedative that's been in your body. You're quite disoriented. As you wake up, you are in a small, cramped, subterranean room. The walls are Skymetal. You are upon some kind of cot. It's a little bit of a small closet that you wake yourself in here. And if you rouse yourself, you'll realize that the entire top of your head has been swaddled in bandages tightly around the top of your skull. It is dark, but thankfully your drow eyes can accustom to the vision. You see that you're in a cell of some sort. You feel imprisoned, though the cot that you're sleeping on kind of betrays your status as a prisoner. You look around. You do not know at all where you are. You can just hear the sound of dripping water. It's a small 10 by 10 room. The only feature is that bed that you wake up on. There's a door that leads out. There's a small little table at the side of your bed. Or in it, or on it, I should say, is a ceramic cup filled with what appears to be water. You are not bound. You are not clamped down. You are no longer being fed strange fluids through tubes in your arms. You are somewhat of a free Daeralei, so to speak. You look up at the ceiling and see that it too has the same kind of rebar kind of pattern to the structure. Someplace highly artificial, made entirely of Skymetal.
I mean, I look at the water, but I don't trust it at this moment. I've got other more pressing things to think about and worry about. So I get off of this whatever platform bed thing that I've got here, and I go to the door, and I see if I can get out.
You try the door. It is locked. You see that there is a shutter that opens and closes. It's small, like a small little window that could open.
I think for a moment there's a little bit of frustration as Daeralei tries to, the door's locked. It's obviously not going to open. But you know how you just get so mad and you reef on the door, just trying to get out anyway. I think for a few seconds before she gets extremely tired of, she is weak. That's what she does before, I think, maybe kind of collapsing back down just on the floor, back to the door, and looking at that glass of what might be water.
You hear, after a moment, a very muffled voice on the other side of the door.
I don't respond.
And neither does the voice say anything. The voice does not say anything further. As you lay there, as you sit there, what thoughts scramble through your mind? What are you thinking? What are you saying?
I think one of the first things that I do is, I'm still not sure of what is real and what's not real, what was a memory, what was maybe not, what did my mind make up? I saw things, I heard things, I don't know what things are real. So I think as those are kind of passing through my mind of these things I may have experienced or remembered, but don't know. The thought, though, is to test my power, and I'm going to try to make dancing lights.
You focus for a bit. Your head stings. Your head throbs a little bit from a headache to conjure these, but nonetheless, yeah, you're able to conjure forth your dancing lights without issue.
So I think that kind of gives her a little bit of a comfort that power's not all gone. So instead of expending any energy to keep them up, she just lets them fade out, knowing that I may still have my powers. I think with that, maybe explore more the bandage that's on my head. I'm not taking it off. I want to see how extensive it is, what they've done to me.
The entirety of the cap of your skull down like to about like ear height around the back has been just like tightly wound with these bandages. This cloth, there's like a little pin in the side that holds it in place. As you touch it, it's like particularly numb. You don't really feel much, if anything,
Okay.
to the pressure there. The only thing you feel is your hands touch the cloth.
Is there any like
You
shiny
had
surface or something that I can look in?
what kind of hair did you have before this, Daeralei?
I had kind of like long, well, shoulder
Mm-hmm.
length-ish white hair. It was, I mean, it was mostly thick in places, but there was definitely places where I had those scars from before where the hair didn't really grow. So I wore like kind of a headband bandage to kind of
Mm-hmm.
hide the fact that I had sparse hair in some places.
You look around. There is not much that could give you your reflection beyond the water that is in that cup.
Uh, Daeralei has always been too curious for their own good, so I think at this point, bandages are going to carefully be unwrapped. Not so that, like, not thrown away or anything, but in such a way that I could potentially, like, try and put them back if I need to. But I need to know what's under there. I need to know what's been
As
done.
you pull your hands back, you can see that there is a particular red staining to your fingertips. It is a dark red, kind of brownish, that of dried blood that has like flaked off onto your hands and smeared onto your hands. As you realize the mess that is your skull, you imagine probably it is best to keep these bandages on. Do you unwrap them anyways?
There's a moment I think. Yeah, they're like, yes, yep, bandages are coming off. We need to know. I know this is
Okay.
bad, but
Your brain falls out and you die. No,
We
as you
are
unwrap
us.
as you unwrap the bandage, it comes
You're
unraveling.
You're
We are
free.
free. As you unwrap the bandage, it comes unwinding in your hands, and you can see that it is a nasty, like that really off, like orangish red color that bandages are when they've been soaking up like blood and pus and stuff from a wound.
Can I
They're
tell?
old.
Can I tell how old the bandage, like the blood,
Mhm.
is? Because I mean,
There is
I've
there
been
is
wounded, so.
there is no ruby red blood on the bandage.
But is it like the brown,
It's the
like really
brown stuff.
dried?
Yeah, exactly. You
Does
get
it
the impression
smell a little
you
bit?
get the impression that there's not really any glossiness to it, that there's no fresh blood happening here.
Okay.
The smell is gross, to say the least. It smells coppery. There's like a strange, like, I want to say fattiness to the smell of it. It's like a weird, like, particularly pungent odor that betrays the presence of a weeping wound and
Mhm.
the weepings of a wound.
Does it smell like it's festering, or if it's
No,
still
no, definitely
still
not infected.
healthy?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no smells of infection. No.
I think at this point I would unwrap enough to find out if I still have like a skull, to be
Okay.
honest.
You reach up. There is no hair. There is skin, however, that you feel, and you go like up to your ears, and you slowly go up the skull, and you pass what would be your hairline. Your hair has been shorn completely off, cut down to the scalp, The skin is intact, thankfully, though you can feel at like this like ridge line. There's like this gnarly, sutured closed section where the skin meets the skin in these thick stitchings coil down, kind of bunching the skin unnaturally together, forming this ridge down the top of your skull. And you can feel that the ridge goes to about like across where the ears are, up to about this point.
Yeah, so
that like line.
I think that's enough for Daeralei, and I think they even mutter under their breath, like feeling that ridge and the crude sutures, like could have done a better job of this. She sighs. I think if the bandages are actually too dirty and old, I'm not I didn't not sure if I want to put them back, to be honest. They're that bad. Yeah, is there no, like, as I got closer, was there any active bleeding? If there's not any active,
No,
I think I might take the bandages right off and just leave
you'd
them.
only have like little like specks of like wet blood.
Yeah.
From actually on top of the ridgeline itself. But it's not like an active bleeding, it's just like there's like little bits of like fresh blood.
Yeah, I think I'd leave the bandages off then, instead of trying to put them back on. And I think at that point, just stare at that glass. And again, because they do this, caution to the wind, thirsty, I'll just take a big old sip.
As you take
a sip, I die. I think at this point, Daeralei is just like, whatever.
As I get my dice out, you take a sip and you realize that the water is a little bit thicker than you remember water being. The taste on your tongue it has this like oily sheen to it, one that you recognize as a potion of healing, as you regain 7 hit points.
Ooh, I toss the rest back as soon as I taste it. That's what it is. So would I actually have 1 + 7?
Yes, 1 + 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I think I'd wedge my back in the corner on the bed on the corner, knees up to my chest, hugging them, and just sit there.
Okay.
Wondering about actually probably thinking about what happened to the rest of them. Yeah.
Your mind wanders to the fates of Toy, of Yrsimagor, and of Veris. And speaking of Veris, we see you leaving behind the arena. You're now in the bustling, dirty, grimy streets of Scrapwall. Illustrate for me the state of Veris. What's on his mind, what he's wanting to do, what he's thinking, how he's acting.
I mean,
now that the arena is behind you.
I think Veris is probably looking quite disheveled, maybe more akin to any other rat folk that he sees within Scrapwall.
Yeah, you don't even have any of your belongings anymore. You just have like the barest of rags on your skin.
Yeah.
Your tattered remains of your clothes. You don't have your rucksack that's actually a wooden chest on your back. Your backpack that's actually a wooden chest on you.
My backpack that's actually a shelf.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have that anymore. Your belongings.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
His first want is to go to his father's, but he's not going to do that. Not yet. I don't really know where he goes. he probably honestly would, like, he is so hurt, he probably just like passes out in the street, I would imagine, just from pure exhaustion and everything just like finally hitting him. And I imagine people like walking over his body, you know, another like rat in the streets, I would say, so to speak. And I think after many hours, he like, unless you want something to happen, I imagine he wakes up and then makes his way in what I assume is now darkness. He's just going to try and find somewhere to sleep, somewhere to heal. I don't think he wants to reach out to anyone yet.
Yeah, not going to Whiskers and Wonders, not going to the Shadow Den? You're going to stay on your own?
Not yet. No, not yet.
Okay. I imagine maybe
because he doesn't know
to...
if anyone. So his thing, King, is like he doesn't know if anyone's like following him now that like there's like really intense eyes on them. This could all just be, his thought is like this could all still just be a ploy to try and get access to any of the, you know, resistance that is happening right now. So he wants to lay really low for a while, and that's his plan.
You know of like two places that immediately come to mind, just to like lay low for a bit. There's a tavern that you can go to if you want to just like blend into a crowd, and there's also a healing house that you can go to if you're wanting to tend to your wounds. It's like a bit of an infirmary.
Yeah, I think he would go to the healing house just because that seems like the most like neutral ground. And they could probably, as like clerics and priests, they could probably offer like some type of protection, or they probably get like all kinds who come in there. So they're at least, if not protection, they won't ask any questions.
And you make your way in the evening to the healing house, is what it's called. Here down in the southern section in the market district of Scrapwall. As you open its doors, you see that it is a extensive infirmary of the injured, the sick, the ill. And it is operated by two medics and two medics alone. Not even faithful or clerics, but people who just practice like herbalism and medicine. Doing their best to supply injuries with bandages, herbs, tonics, and a few healing potions here and there. And this one physician will see you. He is a rat folk like yourself, wizened in years, fur gray, leg, one of his legs missing, and is like a peg leg. He'll hobble over to you and kind of like look you up and down. And, can I help you? He says to you. Sorry, I guess he would say, "How can I help you?" As he's like he's busy like bringing like a few like teas over to various sick people and stuff like that. Seeing that you're very disheveled.
I think again you would see Veris like put a hand out and just fall again without even saying anything, and just fall to the ground, bleeding.
You hear the pad thump of the physician come over and kind of lean down over you, nose like twitching and looking at your injuries. And broken rib. I'm surprised you made it here on your own. I need you to lay in one of these cots for me, please. I'll get you on the mend sooner rather than later. There's and he looks around. There's a lot to tend to here, but you'll be tended to. I promise that.
I think Veris is like out of consciousness. Like he's so injured. Yeah.
Cool. As you find yourself resting, being tended to at the healing house, these like thick bindings and stuff, like setting your rib back in place, and there's like multiple like bandages on various like scars and cuts and nicks. Every now and then you'll be given a very, very minor healing potion that'll heal you by like 5 hit points every now and then. We'll codify this as like a short rest for you, so to speak. But it's like over a longer span of time than just like a short rest is.
He wouldn't get the
And
benefits of a long rest?
Actually, you know what? By the time that we get back to Veris's, yeah, we can say you can take a long rest here. Absolutely. Okay. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break as the wheel turns upon Yrsimagor. And so the wheel turns upon Yrsimagor once more. We come to you. Your hand has been removed at the wrist.
Okay, so it is just the wrist.
Just the wrist, yeah.
Because it sounded like Kogara was holding aloft my entire arm.
No, she was grabbing like your arm here,
Okay,
holding it up
got
to
it,
show.
got it.
Showing your bloody
like
stuff.
a champion. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought she had taken my entire severed arm and was holding it
No.
aloft
It
like
was holding it like WWE style,
Gotcha.
or like wrestling style. Yeah.
Okay, that changes my
Holding
perception.
your hand up.
Got it.
Holding your bloodied stump up for everyone to see in the crowds. We come back to you, Yrsimagor. Come with me, brother. Kogara says to you as she leads you around the what do you call it? The palanquin, leading you to the interior of the building, on this eastern side of the arena.
Yes, I will. I will, of course, follow her.
Mm-hmm. What I will simply do is I will simply attach your character to hers. Pew. That gives you freedom to move otherwise. And she leads you in, taking you up these steps. Why am I not able to move? Front row. What if I detach? That's so funny. The token's not allowed to move anymore. Yeah, you're not allowed to move. Interesting. What's stopping you?
It's so funny because we had a whole conversation about this.
Yeah, there should be
stream.
nothing There should be nothing blocking you right now.
Can you do the thing where you turn me invisible and just move me past whatever the blockage is?
No.
Oh, weird.
Okay, I'm gonna give you wall pass privileges here. Settings, wall pass. Nope.
Wow, can't even clip through.
Wow. Okay. Why is there
It
an
seems
invisible
the
wall?
gods do not want me in service of Hellion, Vi.
Okay, I'm gonna Control C and I'll Control V you on the other side. Wait, I'm gonna. What if I do it here? Control. Nope.
I cast mirror image.
Okay, I'm gonna drag and drop a newer.
Yrsimagors.
Drag and drop a newer Yrsimagor on the other side of this. Weird, like there's literally no barrier.
Can you
there.
delete my token completely and then drag it in from the tokens onto that side?
Yeah, I'll give you new vision here. Hold on. Enable vision. Give you that. What's that? There we go. Okay. That's so weird.
Yeah.
And there's also a wall on this side too. That's so funny.
Interesting.
I have no idea what the wall's doing there.
It's an invisible door. He
There's
doesn't have the key card to do it.
Literally an invisible wall. Like I don't know why Kogara could get through, no problem.
Well, she's got the key card.
Yeah, okay. She leads you here, and as she passes by, this Hellion acolyte who carries a shield in her arm that is stained with the holy symbol of Hellion that is a dismembered claw upon the shields. As you walk past, she will utter a prayer to Hellion, reach out and touch your bloodied stump and cauterize the wound, stopping it from like bleeding out and killing you. And then, oh, bam. Okay, perfect. She leads you still inside. And she leads you more and more, except not front. She leads you and leads you and leads you into this strange complex. And she leads you down some stairs. And when you go down these stairs, you follow this long staircase. Your footsteps echo. She does not speak to you, so it is silent beyond your footsteps that echo in this metallic place. Other than if you say anything.
I will not say anything to her.
Cool. All right, let me show you, enable vision. Haha. Give you the proper vision number. Cool. All right, you're led deep into the earth here. As continue, she will lead you. You know that you are now deep underground. This complex, the walls themselves are made of Skymetal, rusted. You can see scrape marks where they've been dug out. You see the whole southern section here. There's like this weird, like this like balcony section where it overlooks like this like cavernous area where you can see like a pond of cave water south of you, and you hear the sound of wet dripping. Plink, plink. And continues. She'll lead you. Oh, I've past. I gotta re-enable all the baddies. I'm sorry. These all should be visible. She leads you past various chambers, continuing to guide you through this complex. It is a massive structure, to say the least. You see, back group. Cool. And she will lead you into this room, where you see here is a small bed. Here is a strange construct apparatus that is tall and hollow. You see an array of tools upon a desk here. She closes the door behind. Convert to obstruction doesn't work. Closes the door. Should block vision.
Very refreshing. If you haven't done so already.
Yeah, it's just not letting me. Okay. I will then use this tool. Apologies. Whatever. Anyways, your line of sight is blocked. She then brings you here, and I guess she'll flop orientation with you. To bring you before, right here, there's a window set into the wall. The window is propped up on this weird stand that descends from the ceiling. The window does not lead into anywhere. It's just this panel of black glass. Here, you will speak with Hellion, Colgara says to you, finally breaking silence. The screen flickers to life. A demonic visage appears upon this screen. Horns, red skin, big teeth. The figure of a demon reveals himself to you. It crackles a bit, and the sound of an electronic voice carries out from a speaker in the base of the screen. Yes, at last, Yrsimagor. You stand not as a broken rebel nor a hunted fool, but as one who knows his place on your knees before me, just as all will be in time. You bent the knee to my chosen, to Colgara, your blood, your sister. That is fitting, and so I accept your fealty. Rise now, as more than an orc. You are Lord of Rust. My hand, my will, my war-made son. With your sister, you will lead in my name, and all who hear your voice will know fear. Your strength will be sharpened against the world until it breaks before you. He continues, still. But this is only the beginning. You stand in my forge, my crucible, Yrsimagor. Here, beneath scrap wall, I unearth something great. An excavator. A giant, ancient war engine, once a tool for earth and stone, now reforged to be my spear. My laborers dig, tear, and bleed and die for it even now. And when it wakes, I shall ride its iron bones west, to Silver Mount, to unity, to war. I was Unity's weapon. I was its hound. But I broke my chain. I saw its rots, its corruption. It fears me, so it hunts me still. But I will not crawl. I will not kneel. I will tear its hollow god mind down and scatter it to the earth. And reduce it to dust. And for this I need soldiers, lords, family. You will march into the scar of the spider. You will bring me what Cassandali stole and hid away, the neurocam that holds Unity's unmaking. You will carve through Dominion Kaeryn, through all who stand in my path, and you will deliver to me the key to its destruction. Only then will this world be free. No longer Yrsimagor, an exile. No longer Yrsimagor, the wanderer. Rise now, Yrsimagor, as Lord of Rust. Stand as my war-born son. Stand for fire, for steel, and for the glory of Hellion.
I think I look expectantly at Colgara, not entirely sure if I'm supposed to address this visage of Hellion in this strange window.
And she looks expectantly at you, waiting for you to address this strange visage of Hellion in this strange window. And she kind of like gives you like a little head nudge.
There's a long moment looking at Hellion, where thoughts that have been running through my mind for a long time of inevitably having to face my sister, coming to terms with the fact that such a meeting would most likely end with one of us ripping out the heart of the other. And now realizing that everything has changed. And the full weight of the decision that I've made, as I allow myself a moment to think of Veris. And in that moment, I glance back over at Colgara. And in my mind and in my heart, as a necessity of survival, I remove Colgara from that place of hatred. And in its place, I put Veris. But it's not hatred. In fact, I construct, to the extent that I even would understand this, I construct a dark, impenetrable corner. I imagine the Skymetal that surrounds this place, surrounding that portion of Veris, that memory of Veris. Not because I don't want to remember him, but I want to preserve that memory of Veris. I want to hold it somewhere that I can't even access. I'm intentionally pushing Veris into the darkest recesses of my mind. There are things that Hellion said that briefly gave me a glimmer of hope. Hellion spoke of breaking free of unity, once a tool, and now leads a rebellion against unity. I don't know what all of that means, but there's a piece, or just a sliver, just a fraction. There's a glimmer of hope. And I take that tiny sliver of hope, and before I seal off Veris in that corner of my mind, I push that little sliver of hope in there as well. This all passes in but a few moments, few heartbeats. As I look away from Colgara, I look back to Hellion. My service to you was inevitable. I am your instrument of war. And that's all I
So
say.
it shall be. Rise, my champion. You shall be great. You shall be terrifying. And I will make it so. Daeralei, we turn to you. You are still in that little tiny, cramped little room. All by yourself. Back to the wall upon that cot. It's been some time. How do you feel? What do you do?
I think from the outside, it would look that Daeralei hasn't moved a muscle in however long it's been since we last seen her. But inside, Daeralei's mind is racing. It is going over everything that's happened, trying to piece together what is real, what is not real, what is truth, what is lies, trying to figure out where that leaves her. She remembers the voice of unity. She heard it the first time. She remembers the first time she saw these smooth Skymetal walls. She remembers giving her fealty to this entity called Unity, and in return, getting the power. She remembers various journeys, things that she'd been on, till one day she remembers being attacked by this great crab-like beast that had sacks of brains on its carapace, and that it lunged at her and it consumed her. She doesn't remember much beyond the fact of its maw clamping down on her skull. She remembers then seeing a pale, four-armed person dragging her behind them. This being that she now knows, having had seen them again at the beginning, these creatures, I've forgotten their name, but long dead.
Kasatha.
Kasatha, long dead Kasatha. She does not know at this point if that vision is a real, is memory, is dream. But it's then replaced by a strange cave among fungal foliage. Then she remembers waking up on the back of a pony behind Conir Bane and the beginning of that friendship that led us to the now. She remembers in that ship, well, she remembers first meeting Mayenda / Cassandra and the things that she said about not remembering and that she was not Cassandra and the arguments they had, and yet at the end, trust was born. She remembers leaving Mayenda to her own devices before heading into Scrapwall. She remembers the underground ship we found in the ruins of Scrapwall, and the message that was waiting for them there, where that pilot, that ancient dead pilot, attacked her and called her of the Dominion, something Daeralei had no idea what this was. But that was the first moment of doubt about unity passed through Daeralei's mind. Because she remembers that pilot, the message there was that unity had been corrupted. And now Daeralei, in very pieces, remembers these bits and pieces of the conversation where she doesn't know if it was real or not, where Hellion was talking to her about unity and breaking free, and now she's to join him and go against unity because unity's corrupt, and becoming a tool, a weapon, a pet. And I think at that point, because Daeralei's mind just, the pain of all this remembering, the pain of whatever she went through on that table, maybe the anesthesia is wearing off slightly, but she comes down with a massive headache, more than what she's used to when she does her magics. And I think at that she just kind of yells out, clutches her head tenderly, because there's this huge Dano scar to be on her head, to join the many that surround her. And she screams out in pain and clutches, and that's where we see her now.
How audible was your cry out of pain? Was it muffled? Was it like quenched by you, or did you just let it kind of like?
I think it was involuntary. It would be muffled slightly because, of the positioning, but otherwise not held back, not intentionally muffled at all. It just.
On the other side of the door, a few moments later, as you're still reeling from the pain, you'll hear a muffled voice go,
I'm not sure if Daeralei actually can even hear that through the pain that she's feeling right now. It's almost like her mind is like, when a television set goes into that static and it's loud, and that's what she's feeling right now. And I don't think she can hear anything else.
I think what happens is it's almost like the moment where like you're focused on something, right? You're occupied. All of a sudden your brain tells you you heard something, but you have no recollection of like what you've heard, but you're like, someone said something, for sure. Like after the fact, you realize that you had heard something, and maybe it's just your mind playing tricks on you, but you could have sworn you heard something.
I think when that comes through, and her head would raise up and she would look around, trying to hear it again if it really was there. And I think with that, knowing that there is something there, she is going to go back to that door and then just start banging on it and yelling out, like, let me out of here.
The car.
She doesn't. She's going to pound even harder, screaming at them to let her out. This little slat in the door, it can't be moved on this side, can it?
Yes, it can.
Oh, can?
Yes.
Oh, I think maybe when she's just screaming, she finally realizes that, hey, wait a second, I can move this thing. So she's going to move that thing. And if it's within eye level, or maybe she has to stand for Tipitoes to do it, she's going to.
It's definitely eye level. It's about the size,
like peephole.
Yeah, it's pretty big for a peephole. It's not really like tiny. It's like pretty big, like
so it's gonna
for most of your face.
Full face. She's gonna basically press her face into it and just glare at whatever is outside there.
And you open it up and you see there is a hallway that separates you and another door that is very similar to your own on the other side of this hallway. And through its own square peephole, you see that there's a figure, like kind of like looking and like seeing through. And the face is pale skinned. Um, but you can't really make out too many details other than it's a like a human male, probably. Um, and seeing that the slat is open, he'll say to you, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Be careful! You don't want to make too much of a noise."
I think at that moment, seeing that whatever I heard was not like a guard or whatever, but another person in another cell, I'll immediately use my awakened mind, if I still
Mhm.
can,
Yes,
and
you
talk
can.
to him in his head, um, and ask him who he is.
Whoa, whoa! Oh, curious. Telepathy. What a strange creature you are. Me, I am Sanville Tret. I have
That
found
name
myself in a bit of predicament. And that name rings a bell.
does it.
You remember a Sanville Tret, an agent of the Technic League. Oh, what? Maybe you know, in like out of game, over a year ago, back in
Was
Torch,
was this the dude that made the deal with us?
the dude that made the deal with you.
Oh, I think I just like out loud, and then in his head, I'm like, "How long have you been here?"
Oh, over a week, I think. Gosh, how the time does drag on.
Just a week. Where were
Oh,
you
when you say
taken?
it like that, it's been quite difficult, you know.
I'm not disparaging that.
They've kept me locked in here with nothing but food and water, and a very, very uncomfortable bed, I'll have you know.
They haven't harmed you.
No. They asked me a few things. Hogwash and whatnot.
Like what?
They were asking about some kind of strange divine being they called Unity. I've never heard of such a thing.
And so when you were of no help, they just put you in here?
Precisely. They took my spellbook from me, of course.
They must have thought you
And
could do something. Or be worth something, because you're still alive.
not quite so. I told them I'm a quite important agent of the Technic League. And that I'm sure there'll be those coming to rescue me at any point now.
So why would they keep you alive?
They heeded my words. They know of my importance. They know I'm better off alive than dead. But I don't want to be in here anymore. And I get the impression that you don't like your predicament either.
No.
Well, I'll have you know this. If I can get my hands on that spellbook of mine, I can get us out of here. I am an arcanist after all. Few words and gestures and I can cast the spell Dimension Door and get us to the surface. But, well, you see, I don't have my spellbook on me. It's right over there. And he, like, gestures, like, down the hall.
Can I see where he would be
No.
pointing? Okay.
Well, you can see that you can see that he's pointing down the hall, but you can't get an angle on it.
Question. Do we
Mhm.
have I have like 0 things on my body, is that correct?
Correct. Yes, you've been stripped bare of all but your essential, so to speak.
I'm trying to spells. I wonder if I'm trying to remember what we sorry, it's been so long since I've had to cast spells.
And you cannot Eldritch Blast the door, unfortunately.
No, but what I'm thinking, if I could cast my well, I don't even know like how long I've been out or if I have any magics left in me. I think what I'm going to do is, first of all, I want to listen to make sure, well, I mean, he's been talking out loud, I'm talking, but I want to hear if there's anybody in the hallway, if there's like scuffling or anything.
You can make the first die roll of the session.
Yay! Yay me!
A perception check.
Oh, that is a 25.
You listen. Your ears are sharp. You hear the sounds of dripping water, the hum of machinery. You do not hear the presence of anyone else.
Well, I am going to see if I have any magic
Actually,
left.
Sorry, you would hear the opposite of the presence of someone else. You would hear the loud snorings of someone. As you kind of distinguish it from the hum of machinery, you realize, oh, that gentle little rumble, that's not machinery that you hear, per se. That is a snore.
So I am going to see if I have magics, and I'm going to try, well, I'm going to try to cast Misty Step. It's only a verbal component.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if I can cast Misty Step and put myself on the other side of this doorway in the hallway.
You absolutely can. As you teleport, blinking through space and appearing in this hallway. You see that the hallway is quite short. It ends in a small little closet in the direction that Sandville pointed to. And on the other side, you see that there is simply a closed door that leads in the like it's just kind of a narrow hallway. Closed door, and against that closed door is a chair. And it looks like this chair was stolen from somewhere, or because it's like one of the legs is a little bit like broken and it has like been like welded to it a section of something else to like make it somewhat even. And in this chair is a large lumbering orc who is like clad in like scrap metal armor and has like the big smear of Hellion's dismembered claw on his armor, leaning back, and there's like a little like snot bubble, coming over his nose as he leaned back and snoring and is asleep. A great massive metal club kind of swaddled in this orc's arms. This guard is asleep.
Oh, okay. I would like to quietly move to the cupboard. The closet.
To the closet, yeah. Make a stealth roll for me, please.
Yeah, I'm not so stealthy, so we're going to try real hard here.
Do you want to use a domain die hard?
I think, yes, to have advantage. If
Okay.
that's all right. Yes, I would love to.
A domain relic, I should say.
Domain relic.
I almost said domain die when...
Oh, I got double 17s on the dice. So that is a dirty 20.
Perfect. You, without a sound, like you make a few steps, hearing like just like a little bit of like an echoey footstep to you, but you take a few steps. The sleeping orc is completely unfazed by your movement, still happily snoozing. Probably has the best shift in the entire Hellion fortress here. Is you able to make your way to the closet and duck inside, for sure. And inside you see barrels of food and water and random accoutrements, and you see kind of lazily leaned up against something is a silver and purple book that has like these like runes inscribed into the vellum, and these thick parchment pages, kind of just leaning haphazardly as if whomever put it here thought it was not very valuable.
Cool. Well,
it's like leaned up precariously against like a bottle of wine or something. Yeah.
Right. So before I grab it and and
Mhm.
maybe grab it. I want to look around the room. Is my stuff around? Like,
Yes.
yes? Okay.
Yes.
I think I take the time first to get my stuff back.
Mhm.
And put all my, everything back on, my weapons, all that kind of lovely doodads. Then I will carefully, while holding that bottle, grab the book.
Mhm.
Okay. And if no sounds, then I'm going to sneak kind of back to where I can see the other guy again.
Mhm.
And I want to talk to him through my mind, tell him
Mhm.
not to say anything, but just like nod if the answer is yes. And I'm going to ask him, like, hold up the book. Is this one yours? Can it fit through the hole?
No, it's way too big to fit through the
Okay.
hole. Are you using
and-
is telepathy is only one directional, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And so then I
And
said, like,
he like starts like pantomiming, like through this little peephole. He's like,
and I say to his mind, I'm like, can we both get out if I'm out here and you're in there, or do I need to come to you?
He like kind of squints and furrows. Realizing you asked him an or question and he can't really respond.
Do I need, can I stay out here? I'll open the book.
And he like nods and he like gestures to swipe the page.
I'll swipe the pages until I get to the right one.
And he like he'll pause and go like back page. And then he'll pantomime.
Well, I'd say he can speak when he needs to, like, to cast the spell.
And he casts Dimension Door, using verbal and somatic components out of the spell book that you've kind of like leaned up and like positioned so that he can read off the words and arcane formulas for. And the two of you appear in glare. Actually, it'd be later in the evening now. The two of you appear in the dusk of evening on the surface. As I imagine that both of you have kind of teleported on top of, you know how like, there's like these a lot of scrap wall. It's like these like precarious walls of like detritus and scrap and rusted metal. I imagine the two of you up here like standing like on one of these like beams sticking out of like this heap, and you see that like below you is like a 20-foot drop. And like whoa, as you've teleported a little bit too high above the surface. Um, Kind of teleporting on top of this heap instead of on the ground.
Whereabouts are we?
So
I'm going to give him
you
back his book at this point, but yeah.
right here where I put the little blue token.
Okay.
So you would sorry, no, you'd be on this side. You'd be on this side. On the west side. So to the north of you, you can see the arena. Now would be empty. The members in the crowd have dispersed. And you can see the rest of Scrap Wall ahead of you.
I'm still really hurt, right?
I will say you were able to take a short rest inside that
Okay.
cell. Which yep.
Would explain why I was able to cast something.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I think at this point I would be trying to find a nice way down. I don't know if Veris like how much they told me about Scrapwall when we were last here. I do know where Veris's dad lives. I know where the secret hideout place is. Don't think I want to lead this guy there though.
Okay.
I'm thinking because the only place I really know would be to go to Veris's dad's house, the Whiskers and Wonders, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Try to get there because he's the only person I know in town that I could go with. So I try to find a way down.
Mhm.
I don't want to go into the arena. I want to go like
Yeah.
around and
Yeah.
around.
You can circumvent the arena and make it out. Um, and as you depart, Sandville on the surface here, he kind of like looks around and says, "Thank you for your assistance. I'll put in the good word with the Technic League for you. With magic like that, I'm sure you could get a role as an Arcanist with no problem. We'd love to have your aptitude."
I think at this point, Daeralei just kind of nods. Not going to say no outright because, at this point, friends are hard to come by, and maybe this might be the lesser of two evils. So,
Now,
don't want
to
to burn a
find my
bridge.
now, to find my bodyguard and give her a piece of my mind, he says as he like looks around trying to figure out how to get down.
Yeah, and I think of the word mind that reminds me that mine is showing, and I put my hood up and cover myself. Yeah, if he's actually doesn't come with me, then I might actually head to the other place,
The Shadow Den.
the Shadow Den. Yeah,
Cool.
instead. Yeah.
All right. Veris, I imagine you will be spending the next few days recovering your wounds here in the healing house. Thankfully, this is free of charge for you. This is I want to say charity run, volunteer run operation. And that is where you will be for the next little bit. And so, before we end tonight's session, everything fades to black. And the little text in the bottom of the screen says, "Meanwhile, ... We are somewhere else now entirely. We are beyond Scrapwall. We are up here, way to the northwest, here in Starfall, northwest of Torts, west of Scrapwall, here in Starfall. We can see this sprawling, semi-circular fortress city that is built around the metallic husk of the Silver Mount that is this giant injury in the earth, and the city kind of is built around it. We zoom in further and further and further until we realize that we're zooming in on a particular building at the northeastern side of the palace itself, the Palace of Fallen Stars in Starfall. Through a tiny little window, a little crack of light, and there we see Zari. She is shackled in a small, dark, dirty cell. There, it stinks of musk, of urine, of damp straw upon the stone ground. Zari can feel the cold bite of her shackles that shackles her to the wall. Her body, half naked, is covered in bruises and welts and sores and scrapes. Inside the cell, through the bars, we see a torch outside in the hallway, the stone hallway, that casts long shadows on stone walls. Here, we can hear the din of Technic League agents laughing, chatting, the sound of rolling dice on wood. The world itself is moving on, while she remains trapped. She's been trapped here, shackles, for quite some time. Two figures approach the cell. We hear the creaking of iron as the door is unlocked and opened. Inside steps two figures. One, the bald-headed, tattooed man, the Doombringer, Osman Zane. Behind him, another Arcanist with these strange, pale eyes that comes with him, donned in robes. Osman Zane approaches, and the camera will be from somewhat Zari's perspective. We do not hear what she says. There's only one voice that can be heard here. Zari, rebel firebrands. Once the people chanted your name at your back, when the Black Sovereign, just a warlord then, Kevoth Cool rode to battle. You thought to unite these backward people against us, to unite the savage Numerian barbarians. Now, look at you, shackled, forgotten. Tell me, where is the girl? Keshka Kul, the Black Sovereign's blonde-haired daughter, his heir. We already know she was taken from the palace by your rebel friends, Pauldris Grey, Bree Kite, defectors, traitors. But where did they hide her? There's a pause. You think that child is free? He continues. She's a banner, a name. Whomever holds her holds Numeria. Listen carefully, dog. The Black Sovereign still seats his throne because of us. We made him. We sustain him. Guide him. Without the Technic League, he is nothing but a drunken savage, ruling over petty, superstitious tribes, wasting the potential of their land, just as we had found it, squandering their resources. You should thank us, really. Do you think his daughter, of savage stock no less, will fare better without our guidance? We will find her, and when we do, she will kneel as you will kneel. Because our art, our sorcery, will make it so. Do not forget, Zari. Chains come in many forms. He turns to the Arcanist and the few other guards that have followed up behind. Enough! She holds her tongue until the scar then. The Gesh will loosen it. Prep her for the march. We then cut to black. And in the next scene, there is a marching caravan down south through the Badlands. Southwest. Around Zari's throat, there is a collar etched with arcane runes. A Gesh-bound collar. There we see in this caravan, we can see these carts, these wagons, pulled by horses. Sitting on the wagons themselves, you see a mix of arcanists, scribes, footmen, scouts. Flying overhead are small little scouting drones. And in the backs of some wagons, covered over by tarps and blankets, are these hibernating large combat drones. We can hear whispers among the men and women on this caravan. Whispers of brain collectors and a valley that eats men alive. We then see, walking alongside Zari, another figure bound in the same collar as her. A tall, gray-skinned tiefling. She is strong. We would recognize her as Hysark, the bodyguard of Sandville Tret. Imagine Zari gives a look of recognition, wondering what she's doing here. Hysark does not recognize her at all, acting as if they'd never met. And as the caravan continues through this dead badlands, dry scrublands, the camera then circles around to their back, seeing where they're headed. And we see ahead these tall black ridges. And as the camera zooms out further, overlooking the scene, we see a massive gash in the earth. This lush, fertile, dark valley. Its foliage filled with these alien, mutant vegetations. A large lake dominates its center, shimmering on top with a weird layer of glistening oil. And that is where we end tonight's session. And that is where the chapter, Lords of Rust, comes to an end.
Wow. That was a heavy session.
Season finale, baby.
Well, yeah, Kaeryn said in our side chat, said it best. This is like in the Two Towers when the Fellowship breaks and they all go separate ways and hope to reunite again. Incredible. I don't know what else to say. I am rendered mostly speechless. I guess we'll see in 2 weeks what happens next. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight or is watching with us on VOD. We appreciate you. Appreciate seeing the conversations in chat, the following along with the game, and if you're somebody that likes to watch quietly, lurking silently in the shadows, or perhaps you are watching on the VOD later, know that we appreciate you and hope you enjoy our presentation. And thank you to our incredible game master who took a near TPK and spun it into, I want to say something better, and I think that's the right way to say it, but from the characters' perspectives, I'm not entirely sure about that. This feels like one of those, like in Game of Thrones after the Reigns of Castamere, the Red Wedding, when the, I think that was the one where the credits just rolled to silence. So with that, I'm going to thank Vi and Kaeryn and Em, and though she was not with us tonight, she was definitely with us in spirit, Sara, without whom this would have just been Vi talking to herself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want. Metadata.
Metadata.